In this session, we will set up employee-specific pay modifiers for deductions and fringes that are applied to that individual employee for the payroll in Sage Intacct. So we're going to go into Applications, Construction Payroll, Employees, and we're going to go back into our new employee that we're setting up, Steve Hess. And we're going to come into here, and I'm just going to search on pay groups, and I'll find Steve is right here. So I'm going to go back and click on his name, and that'll bring me back into Steve's setup. We've already done the first two tabs, the details and the compensation. Now we're going to proceed over to the pay modifiers section. So in previous sessions, you should have set up and established your different list of pay modifiers, that is deductions or fringes that are in the system or reimbursements. And now this is where you say for this employee, which ones are applicable. So you look over on the left side here and you're going to have two gray bars, one called assigned and one called not assigned. So basically the not assigned is going to be your overall master list of all of the pay modifiers you have set up in the system ahead of time. And now when you need to activate one for this employee, you're going to simply click on it. So for example, 401k, it'll pull the information in from the setup of the 401k, and you need to come into here and establish an effective date. So we'll say 1/1. If there's an expiration date, fill that in there as well. It might be an employee loan and there's an expiration date on it. You can use that. And you'll notice this is just the contribution portion of the 401k. The match portion, if any, would have already been set up in the pay modifier, and that will happen automatically. So this is the contribution side. So you'd come into here and say, all right, what does the employee deduct weekly from his paycheck? And it can either be a rate or a flat amount. So we're going to say in this scenario, Steve does a 6% contribution rate per week. So we're going to simply fill in a 6% contribution rate for the 401k. Now at any time you can click save, and we'll do that. So when I click save now, you'll notice under assigned, the 401k shows up there, and it also shows an effective date over on the right. So we can keep going. So for example, let's say the company also provides portion of the healthcare. So we're going to grab the health, the family employer package. We're going to click on that. And you'll notice here for this package, you're still going to establish your effective date. But then you'll see in the contribution details a amount that already pre-filled in here of $125 per period. So this was established in the pay modifier. If you put a contribution amount or a percent in here, it'll pre-fill in. And if that's good for the employee, nothing else needs to be done. But for this particular employee, if it varies, you can click over on that amount and you want to click the pencil for the edit. And you can change that amount and make that specific for the employee. So we can say this employee is 100 or 200. We'll say 200 here in this scenario. And that will override the default setting that was done in the pay modifier. You can do the same thing down at the bottom here for what do you want your contribution to be based on, and so forth. So in this scenario, we just overrid the amount. For the employer side, we'll click save. Now the employee also elected to pay for some health care as well. So we're also going to have an employee side of that, health family employee. So we're going to click that. Now this one is not pre-filling any amount. This is unique to each employee. So we're going to come into here and simply type in what the deduction amount is per pay period for that employee. We'll say $250 and save. So what you'll continue to do here is to go ahead and assign and activate any of these pay modifiers that apply for this employee. You do not have to do any pay modifiers that are in a compensation table, for example, in a union table. The first payroll, it will actually, it'll set up those pay modifiers and apply them to the employees accordingly, exactly to the compensation table. So you only need to apply the pay modifiers that are non-union, maybe a garnishment payment, a per diem, and so forth. So all of that can be established here under pay modifiers. When you're done, you'll click Save, and you'll move on to your next step in the next video. Thank you.